Welcome to the Eussen interview series, Health Life Design. Today we're talking to Michelle Begley from Nuevue Soft Furnishings and Window Coverings. Michelle, welcome.
Thank you, John.
Great to have you. Very well. And what I love about this series is we hear about the backstory. We hear about the people behind the brands, and you've got a long history. I'm going to let you tell us the history, but the family's been around for quite a long time.
Yeah. So we're kind of third generation now. I'm the granddaughter of the original Oxford Blinds, who were down in Bondi, and then my father worked with my grandmother for many, many years and kind of took care of the installation side. And then I came on board, and we started probably, I think it was 2007. Dad and I branched out and started Nuevue, and kind of just keeping the ball rolling. So I kind of take care of that side of the business, the sales and the runnings, and my father does the installation side. So it's a good pair up, and it works.
Just listening to you use the term grandchild, it's quite weird because I'm only 20, clearly.
Yeah.
But I used to deal with your grandmother.
21, yeah.
I used to deal with your grandmother.
Yes, I know.
You've become, oh my God, you're frightening here with the way you're using that terminology, but I know the history of the business. And it's wonderful to see the success of any business today and the longevity and seeing how it's evolved as well.
Exactly.
So what's Nuevue today that's different to what it was when it was Oxford?
Originally. Yeah. Okay, so I suppose, ultimately we do this, we're in the same industry. We're concentrating on the window furnishing sides of things. My grandmother also did the soft furnishing sides, which we've continued through as well. I guess it's just the way we work. I think, which is ultimately how the world changes. We have to change and adapt also. We do a lot of residential work, but we've kind of got into this really nice area where there's architects, designers, and we get into that really finer detail and part of the process a lot earlier. So rather than people walking in off the street and saying, this is my window, we need to organise to have it dressed, we're actually working much earlier with the builders and things like that. So we're able to incorporate, and there's a little bit more finer detail happening, which is really nice.
Yeah. Michelle, how has the design industry changed, I guess, in Australia? It's been said that we have been influenced by many cultures. We are multicultural. And it's been said we have quite an eclectic style here. Would you agree with that, or do you think we've adapted our own specific look?
Yeah, look, I think it's even more defined than that. It's almost like Melbourners have their, look, the Sydney-siders, and then even within Sydney, we find that there's Northern Beaches and, the North Shore and Eastern Suburbs and, inner West and things like that. They all seem to have their own styles as well. So, we find that, if we have a project that's on the Northern Beaches, it's very much that coastal Hamptons, and we know the hardware types and the style of pleating tend to be very, within that design brief.
Sure.
And then you head over to the inner west, and it's a little bit more that modern spin onto it. So that, your finials on your curtain rods change slightly just to give that little bit more of an edge to suit the styles of the home. So I think Australia is very influential by even the suburbs that we live in. And, there's always those crazes of the Hamptons look. Hamptons is huge at the moment. But we've got to be careful, because if you put a Hampton style design in a non-Hampton style, house, it can look a little bit, So I think it's our job to kind of get the design brief from the client or the architect or the designer and just make it work within the space as best as possible.
Now, the business started in the eastern suburbs of Sydney, and it's now the Northern Beaches.
Yeah.
Has the look changed or the clientele changed that you're catering for, or has it just evolved?
I think we're lucky enough to we've maintained a lot of our eastern suburbs clients, which is fantastic. So I guess it's our job. We do go all over Sydney, and even down to the Southern Highlands. We're breaking into there a lot as well, because there's not a lot down there. So it's the market's down there as well.
Yes.
I don't think it's changed. I think it's just more the trends that we kind of work with, as opposed to, just the specific client. We kind of cater to what they're wanting, and then the style of their home and best aesthetically and functionally.
Well, nice segue. You mentioned trend.
Yes.
What's on trend?
So on trend at the moment, we're doing a lot of Hampton style. That's just the way that things are. We're kind of getting into a modern spin onto it as well. That kind of darker, when we talk about curtains, that darker style rod at the top, and then, you know, lighter curtains. We're doing a little bit more trimmings and things like that, so just giving that edge, that personal touch to it. So we run a band down a leading edge, or, you know, just little details that kind of personalise people.
So enhancements are stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Rather than going for, you know, bolder colours and things like that, I think we kind of saw that the last couple of years. That's pared down a little bit more, and we're getting into more that, as you said, that eclectic, that little finer detail that just gives it that classic look and personalises it.
Yeah. Michelle, there's a hotel experience where you see the layering of window treatments. You have the sheer, then you have the solid, then you have the blind. That all seems to work well together. Is that practical within the home?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the layering allows for function. So, you know, people want to have those layers to create the aesthetics of it, but then also get the function from it. So, you know, just to have a sheer curtain isn't going to give you the function that you need for nighttime privacy and things like that. So that's when we create those layers.
Yes.
Americans, you know, that trend of they really like to layer, and they love quite heavy window furnishings, whereas the Australian market, they want the function, but they don't so much like the heaviness to it. So we just pare it back a little bit, and more so keep to the 2 layers as opposed to the 3 layers.
Yes.
Just to keep it neat and tidy. And again, that minimalist spin that they're creating in their homes.
Yeah. Okay, so I understand the layering concept and what that is involved, but we're either beef or we're chicken or we're fish. Are we blinds or are we curtains?
Yeah.
Is
Me
it?
personally, I like chicken. No, I like curtain. I mean, you know, I'm a curtain girl. Always kind of have been. It's almost as though I can see the potential.
Yeah.
That's not to say when I walk into a room, if a blind is most suitable, a blind is going to go in, and that's what I will recommend. I think people are becoming more open to curtains. Back in the day, as soon as you'd mentioned curtains, they'd, I don't want grandma's curtains. You know, they just really had that stigma of them being heavy and dust collectors and all the rest of it. But the industry has caught up and it's improved, you know, just in terms of its pleating styles. You know, you don't see heavy rods and rings where you've got to, you know, pull them across the room.
And just to hit your shoulder.
Well, we've got beautiful rods that have lovely glides in them, you know, a lot more decorative, simple, you know, classic looks that we're able to use curtains and make them beautifully and modern, and that is what is allowing us to do more curtaining these days.
The difference. What about colour? I mean, colour's an interesting. I guess a lot of people are confident. A lot of people don't know how to use colour. Colour blocks on windows. Does it work?
It depends. It's really to do with your room. If you've got a larger space, you can definitely, you know, go for more of that dramatic colour. We're finding a lot of people like to, you know, as long as it tones, then you can, you know, do a lot. So, you know, we're still doing prints and you know, even planes with contrasting borders, they would work quite well, so that you don't have such a heavy block of colour. It's broken up, or as I said, you know, before we had, you know, just the little additives, you know, the accessories, the trims, and the finer details that way, that we're able to add colour without being a big block.
Yes.
I guess it's not so on trend, you know, like a feature wall, you know, it's not so on trend. It was huge in the past, but we're kind of paring it back a little bit, and it's more tonal, it's more tying in with the wall colour.
Sure.
You know, if you have that contrasting wall colour, then we get that to then, you know, move across into your window furnishings.
Technology taking over the home. I mean, we live with technology today. It's evolving, it's part of our lives, but I had a hotel experience once where the window treatments were controlled by remotes and switches on the wall.
Yep.
I couldn't open the damn things.
Oh, no.
I had to ring the concierge to say, how do I get sunlight in my room? I'm from the industry. I can't work this stuff. Like, can we get too complicated?
Yeah, look, I think we've actually come even further than that now. So, you know, back in the day, you know, it was, if someone was to stay in your home, they wouldn't know how to do it. You know, it's like, what button do I press? And even when we, you know, go back to places and they've set up the home automation system, I'm standing there going, and they're my blinds, you know, oh, what button do I press? And then, you know, the one over there goes down and all the rest of it. I think if it works for your home, you get used to it. And then that's what works. What we also do is with remote controls and things like that, if you run into issues where you can't find the remote, we always make a master as well and give that to you so that there's, you know, somewhere there.
Yeah.
But the beauty now is that we've actually moved into voice automation and more so that your smartphones.
So Siri's with us.
So Siri's with us, and you know you can do it from your phone. You can do it. So there's a lot more devices that we can use Window Furnishings.
God, you wouldn't want to use the wrong word at the wrong time, would you?
Totally. But it's quite good when you need to show up because, you know, your friends come over and you go, blinds up, and they all just, you know, go on.
Why is it amazing?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's come a long way. I think, you know, like anything, things that come out of the industry, they're a little bit clunky to start out with, and then you refine, and then we've got quite a, you know, good smooth product range that we can offer now.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, when they all go in, we go through that with all the clients so that they're not standing there going, I don't know how to do them. You know, we run through everything and show them how to use them, and always available.
And I think the one of the other things that I know we've spoken to the industry before about it is the insulation factor. We're all so much more environmentally aware. The heating, cost of heating, cost of cooling, it's very much part of how we live. But a proper window treatment can offer insulation, can't it?
Absolutely. And getting back to the motorization side, you can program that all into your system so that when it is that hot westerly afternoon sun, you know that your blind will come down and program so that when you arrive home, you haven't had the afternoon sun beating into the house and you've got to sit, you know, for 4 hours cooling it down with your air conditioner. So insulation is a huge thing. And look, that's the main function side of window furnishings, you know. When we look at designing them, function is a huge factor. You know, the first question is, what do you need from your window furnishings? You know, are we north facing, south facing? You know, what do we need to achieve functionally? And then how do we make it look aesthetically pleasing and work in with the room so that it looks like it's all meant to be there? Absolutely.
So Michelle, what about affordability? Blinds versus curtains. Is there a difference?
There is. You know, usually we kind of make that clear to start out with. Obviously, blinds are going to be a little bit more cost effective, but you're not going to get the aesthetic side of them. You know, if you're after that softening of the room, decorative feel, roller blinds are more of a functional thing. That's not to say that they're ugly and yucky, but they can look beautiful, stunning, simple, but you don't so much get that decorative side to curtains. So when you go to the curtain side, yes, it is more expensive, but you're getting a lot more for what you're paying for. So you get that aesthetic side to it. You get that decorative, you know, softness to the room and a lot more.
So it really comes down to what you want, how you want to live in the environment, and the aesthetics that relate to that as well.
And we do that combination. You know, if things come in and they're too expensive, we look at ways that we can, you know, oh, well, this is functionally what we need from this. You know, maybe we do a block-out roller blind behind sheer curtains rather than lining curtains and sheer curtains on top. So there's lots of variations that we can work with to suit budgets.
Sure. So how do people find Nuevue?
Okay, so just jump onto our website, nuevue.com.au. We've also got a big Instagram following, so that kind of showcases our latest work, the fun that we have on site and things like that, and you know, the personal side of things. Sure. And then, just if they want to call us on 9300 8830, that's the girls will talk to you and you can book in an appointment.
Fantastic. Well, say hi to the family.
Thank you.
Your grandmother.
Yes, I will.
Who I know.
just from way back.
Absolutely,
Not really.
a few years ago. Yeah, would you please thank Michelle Begley from Nuevue Window Furnishings. Thank you.